roadmap to a record year, blah, blah, blah. Declaration of war against mediocrity. I must have been really motivated when I wrote that line because that's a bit strong. Nonetheless, first and foremost is the year in review. So I'm going to be jumping back and forth. This is the really fancy graphic. I didn't do any design work or pass this off to a designer, but it's a simple worksheet that should help. And we're going to go through biggest win from the last year, what worked, what didn't, what must change. So some examples is obviously looking at, the 5 habits we focus on. Beyond fitness, certainly what worked, just kind of filling that in briefly, and then be brutally honest with what didn't, what drained your energy, where did you find you weren't as compliant as you could be, etc. Try to narrow that down to 1 or 2 things. And then the biggest win of the year, what made you the proudest? Because it's helpful to look back before we look forward. Okay, so biggest win could be losing a couple inches. The waist, what worked. Just randomly throwing things in here, but just to give you an idea. 200 times. It's a lot of workouts. What didn't? Oh, weekend nutrition. Again, not speaking from experience, but maybe. Didn't sleep enough. All right. So that ties in nicely to what must change. Dialing in my diet on weekends, prioritizing sleep. Fairly simple. That's the idea here, though. Because when we write these things down, we make changes. No worries, Scott. All righty. So year in review. I don't want to move too fast. Everyone's got something filled in. Yes, no. Can always go back. Okay. So that's it. Those 4 questions on that page. Now we move to the values pyramid. So this is, again, looking back. So not what you want it to be, but where you ended up prioritizing it last year. Okay. Oops. Skip this one. You can go back to this one after and save this for the end. So the values pyramid, ranking 1 to 10, 10 being I really prioritize this. What was your health last year? Family is fairly open-ended, but generally that's kind of just like time with family. The value, the quality of your relationships, where your finances are at, and then experiences. I kind of lump that into like vacation and just, how you made the most of your time. Actually, next week's call is going to go into how to make this the most fun year as well. Because it's one thing to have goals and really set high targets and accomplish all these things, but we want to have fun while we're doing it. So that's what we're going to tie into next week. So simple rating, say 7, 6. Oh boy, on the brink of divorce if you're getting any lower than that. 9 and 2. Didn't travel at all. Didn't do anything fun. So looking at the numbers now, we can easily say, okay, well, this has room for improvement. This has room for improvement. Something has to give, but usually one will stand out, and we want health to be up there, but you want to look at this and now you can identify where to prioritize your time, money, energy in the new year. Okay. Because they all are seemingly important. They all tie in together. All right. So I know I'm making you kind of think on the spot here pretty quick, but hopefully you've got your answers for those 4. Nodding, type 1 in the chat if you're not on video, just so I get a sense I'm not moving too quickly here. We can always go back and change our answers once you have a bit more time as well. Okay. Excellent. So, specific definition of success. Now we start setting some specific targets that tie into those values. Okay. So that's the next page here. Oh, sorry. No, I want to go back to this. I'm jumping around a little bit. The 1-year vision is the page you're now on in the document. Okay. Or am I? Wait a second. Oh, yes. Okay. Moving backwards to page 3. Sorry. That's why I skipped it because I changed the slide order. Okay. So this one, again, it'll take some more time probably to answer. So don't worry too much about having to complete a document as soon as we're done this call. But the idea here is very specific. So for me, body fat percentage dropped by 5%, say, something like that. Strength target, usually that's like a specific exercise, like 20 push-ups, body weight. Something by the end of the year is like this Mizagi that you accomplished. Okay, so maybe it's 225 bench press for 8 reps. 1,000 steps, daily average, 7 hours. So these ones will be obvious that line up with our habits. And then what is the income or lifestyle win and experience you want to book? Is there a family trip, adventure, a hike, run a half marathon? Wouldn't recommend that. Yeah. So as measurable and specific as you can make it on the spot, you may have to come back, but at least you have these filled in. Okay. So I'll say to Mexico. We're already booked, so it's done. Oh yeah, sorry, Rose. I guess the document is only can't see the chat. I'll have to post it again here. So this is the doc we're going through. Okay. So I have to do some more thinking on this as we go through. Okay. All good there? Okay. So we're going to paint the picture. So I really should have reordered these, but it seemed like the slides made more sense to go the order we did. So there's some real magic with this. There's futureme.org. You can write a letter to yourself that kind of goes more in depth. That'll send you this email in the future, a year from today. And you want to get super visual and write this out. But this is basically just saying the date is January 2027. I am with, who are you with? Immediate family. Celebrating another new year or something more specific. And then you get ultra visual on, my body feels like it should at X pounds or X percentage of body fat, or just, paint that picture of what you want your health to look like, your energy to feel like, and the biggest obstacle you overcame. Okay. So what did you overcome? Was it your self-limits, self-sabotage? Really quickly, just kind of visualize this. And it seems pretty woo-woo, and it is. But when you write this down, you paint the picture, obviously all the actions have to align, but more likely the actions do align when you actually kind of put yourself into your future self a year from now and what you want to accomplish. Ultra specificity. Some real magic to this, so don't overlook it. Okay. Energy. Let's leave that for this. Feeling 10 years younger. Okay. Whatever that looks like for you, visualize a year from now and what you've accomplished over the past year. More so how that feels, though. That's what you're trying to create with this. That's the why. Okay, all good. We want you to have a semi-completed document by the end that will flesh out and in particular, probably print out the last couple pages I'll talk about here in a second. Okay. So now on to the 1-year vision. Okay. So we want again to talk on the relationship, family, lump that all together, obviously the health, and then the mindset piece. And then the 3 very specific wins in the year theme. Okay. So arbitrary example here, maybe it's 12 date nights with your spouse, 1 a month. Hopefully that's doable. Something that's going to rekindle that spark, if that's your thing, or it's relationship with a specific child, a parent, whatever. Come up with something that's going to really improve, upgrade that relationship you have in mind. So the health upgrade is a specific goal that you're doing all this work to work towards. And then the mindset could be, I gave a really specific example about meditating daily, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be, fixing my relationship with food, binge eating. I'm not coming up with many ideas on the spot, but hopefully you can. Yeah. And then the last 3, which are going to tie into the contract at the end, is hyper specificity. So again, 350 new clients for CalFit, very ambitious goal for us. It's out in writing. You guys can help by referring people. 500 content pieces. I've never been close to that. So that's a scary number for me, but it's hyper specific, meaning more than one a day, which is a lot. Doesn't have to be just text, mostly video. And then that 5% body fat drop, and I'm going to tighten up the timeline for that. But this is over the course of a year. Level up is the year theme. Growth, leadership, one word that's going to define your year and your focus. There's some real power just to that. Okay. Anyone open to sharing? So I'm not just talking, even in the chat, like what is your year theme? If you had to boil it down to one or two words, hopefully you'll be willing to share. Someone will be willing to share. And then those goals, again, those wins can be all health focused. They don't have to be, though. No more phone. Yes, that fits. Training, drop it. Nice. Yeah, let's tighten them up a little bit, guys, but no phone. That would work, actually. No phone zone. Rebuilding to healthy. There you go. Yeah, rebuild would even work. Just really catchy, something that's going to be front of mind. Put a sticky note on everything with that one word. It's going to point you in the right direction. Excellent. Okay. So your theme, and if you haven't filled in everything, don't sweat it. Sometimes you need to think a little bit deeper on this stuff, but at least it gets the wheels turning on today's chat. All right. Okay. So now we're going to two-part equation here that's really going to tie it all together. This one, if you want, is professionally focused, business-wise, but we're going to stick to obviously personal health. Okay. So you guys have all seen my goal smashing worksheet. It might actually look a little prettier for this. So let's actually jump over to that. And then I can give you guys this document if you want, but essentially it's one page where you set your 90-day outcome goal, and then you dial in the 3 steps that are most critical to you accomplishing that, right? So we have the exact example here of, say, lose 8 pounds by, well, a little after March 31st, I guess, at this point. Nutrition goal at 80%, 8,000 steps per day average, and 3 strength workouts per week. Okay. So we'll just go in and you can fill this in, but I'll do it as well. Nutrition target hit. All right. If you're open to sharing your 90-day personal outcome goal in the chat, love to hear it. Spouse. What's the biggest obstacle? Again, I'm just spitballing here. Could be nighttime snacking, weekend eating, inconsistent tracking. Possibilities are endless here, but try to narrow it down to one thing that's going to move the needle the most. And then these are obviously the focus of your personal plan, but 7 hours of sleep a night, ideally. Again, this is redundant with the habit above. And then your protein might be whatever it is that's set up for you in the app. Terry, 10-pound reduction. Okay, very nice. So with that in mind, CAP, nutrition target, drives 80% of that. Well, I don't like putting percentages on it, but it certainly is up there. And then fill in as you see fit for the other 2. Any examples of the personal habits that you guys have filled in just to get people thinking in the chat? What might help beyond what I've already shared? And then I want to hear from a few on the personal obstacle. So I think that would be pretty helpful for people to kind of think on as well. Yeah, so nutrition steps, Jim. The outcome you're aiming for is to run the 5K race. Nice. Okay. And then just fill in your process steps, your personal habits. Track food, Terry, steps, water. Yeah, Sheila, that's a big one. Stress eating sweets. And Rob loves his wine. So limited drinking. Yeah. Liquid calories. So that personal obstacle, now you have to kind of develop a bit of a game plan to reduce or eliminate it, but that's step one, is just putting it down on paper. All right, we got an outcome goal of 5K as well. Two 5Ks. Okay. All right. Good. Everyone's kind of got that scratched in at least. Yes, yes. Excellent. So then what actually makes this happen is the accountability. So this is the commitment contract that you're going to share with either me or someone that can hold you accountable to do it. Okay. So I've already shared, and you already should know from this document way up here, your top 3 wins that you're committed to trying your best to achieve this year. You're now going to put it on this last page. So priority 1, in no particular order. Priority 2, priority 3 with a deadline. Oftentimes it's the full year, but if you think it's something you can realistically achieve in less time, like for me, why delay this 5% body fat drop when I can probably do it in 6 months? Then you're going to print and sign or physically write your name, and then I'll be your witness. Or if you don't want me to be your witness, someone that's actually going to hold you to it. Okay. And just the date that you sign it. Pretty simple. Okay. So it's one thing to write down smart goals and put them out there. It's another to be held accountable and publicly share them. And I think that's what this contract is really valuable for. Okay. So move through that, fill out your top 3. Again, it's not failure if you make the effort to accomplish them and fall a little short. It's a failure to not put them out there at all, right? You're selling yourself short if you don't at least set those targets. Okay. All right. Any questions on this? Again, you should be able to hit the save button with your changes or physically print paper copies. But don't forget that step, because I think it'll wipe it out or print a blank document, which is not helpful for you. And if you just written in a notebook, no big deal. You can transfer over. Okay. Irene, 8,500 steps and cap. Okay, good. All right. So I think we can stop sharing. Have I done? Yeah. Everything in here pretty much. Okay. All right. You guys all have your blueprints now. Yes? I lost my video, but I'm not sure why that happened. There we go. Yes. Okay, we got thumbs up, Rob. I like it. Okay, before we part ways then, make sure you export as a PDF. Share with me directly. Go ahead, Diane.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I should know this, but at the beginning, how do you measure body fat?
Oh, well, that's just my target. There are online calculators that will get close for you. You can just Google that. And in the app, we have it tracked generally.
Okay.
I can give you what the app is predicting yours to be.
Okay.
Because that information, plus or minus 5%, okay, is fairly accurate. It's surprisingly accurate how good the online ones are. It just asks you for like measurements, age, etc.
Okay.
It spits out a number that's actually fairly comparable to these fancy scans nowadays.
Okay. And the other one was on the strength training, the 225 bench presses for 8 reps.
Yeah, that was just a random example. I
Yeah.
don't want you getting under a bar with 225 pounds. Yeah, you set your own strength target, whatever makes sense for you. Like
Oh,
if
okay.
you're, you know, on a certain machine that you use regularly,
Yes.
you're doing 80 pounds for 8 reps. By the end of the year, I hope to do 110 pounds for 10. Something like that, right? That it's just that it's an increase for you personally.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad.
Whatever
Okay.
works. A lot of
Yeah.
people just tie it to like body weight, like push-ups or something, but again,
Okay.
you make it your own. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Terry.
We briefly chatted about this on the app. My chocolate cravings get the best of me in the afternoon, and then later in the evening, let's say I eat supper around 6:30, by 8:15, 8:30, going on 9, I want a snack. I want chocolate. I want whatever I can find around me.
Yeah, welcome to the
That's
club.
not healthy, of course. Healthy stuff I
Yes.
don't want. I want all the crap.
Yeah, welcome to being human. Uh, well, first is to set up your environment for success, not have the chocolate at the ready, right? That's easier said than done with people in the house that may want the chocolate, and you're restricting their options as well. I think we had spoke about sometimes it's a protein deficiency that leads us to craving food in general, and we think it's like sugar cravings, but if we had addressed the protein shortfall, you may not find that hunger signaling is quite as high. So I would swap, don't suppress. Like find some option in the mid-afternoon when you get that craving that's, protein rich that might still have a bit of a chocolate if you squint hard enough, like a one of these protein bars or something. Yeah, Rob's sharing. He's
Robert
partial to
replied.
Rob. Yeah, he's partial to those bars because it's in the name, but there's lots of other options as well that work. The best bar on the market now is David bars, but they're not easy to come by in terms of macros. But Robert Irving are at Costco and sub two. Usually the rule of thumb is sub 200 calories, 20 grams of protein, and those ones are close, you know, and they fit the bill.
A lot of
For some
protein
reason I
bars.
lost. Sorry,
A lot,
what?
I was going to say a lot of protein bars. I always check them and they're always like low sugar, but they're 20-25% protein. And that's kind of your treat at night. It's chocolate and it's satisfying.
Yeah, so it's finding something that works. I mean, for me, still, I like to have a dessert, but it's individually wrapped, like an ice cream sandwich versus opening a tub of ice cream. So I still get some satisfaction at 8 p.m., whether it's popcorn or a sweet treat, if it's salty or sweet, whatever you're leaning towards. That's the main thing, is having some option in your calorie allotment that still satisfies without, reaching for something that's potentially binge worthy. For me, it's like I used to love that frozen yogurt ice cream, but it was way too calorie dense if I had the amount I wanted to have, and one bowl would lead to multiple. So can't have that in the house, but I can have ice cream sandwiches in the house because I'm not likely to unwrap six of them.
I
Mitch, why
like that
can't
idea
she
of the
have just a
individually wrapped.
tablespoon?
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. Who is that? I missed. Oh, Nita.
Nita,
Yeah,
why can't she just have like a tablespoon of chocolate chips?
you
If
can if
I don't know
it's
if that'll do, but
if you can
Well,
stop
keep
at that,
eating
right?
them.
oh, okay. With chocolate chips, especially if you get the little tiny ones, it's not just the chocolate, it's the I don't know, the the picking at little things and eating them. I don't know. I agree with you about the protein. Often, if you're short on protein, that's what, or tired. When I'm
Tired
tired,
or
that's
stressed,
when
I hear you.
the chips
Yeah.
speak to me in sentences, as you say.
Mhm. Yeah, you're not you when you're hungry. The Snickers commercial nailed it. And that's the best time to go to bed. You can't snack while you sleep. Rob has a good tip about Greek yogurt, protein powder mixed into a mousse. Add some berries. Again, won't taste quite like ice cream, but might satisfy or certainly fills you up. There's lots of that kind of stuff in our recipes, so I can certainly send those back if you don't have them handy. Okay. 70% dark chocolate is an idea here. Yeah. Yeah, if you can limit yourself to one square, I'm really bad at like limiting stuff. I think it's because I was very heavy set for a long time and binging was my pastime. So I know myself best. I can't have certain things in the house that, oh, just a sliver of red velvet cake and I'm good to go. No, it's going to be a family size portion. So that's just me. I think there's some great tips both ways. Fruit is good too, as a sweet treat, Richard. That help, Terry? Not easy for any of us. I mean, we're just wired to kind of be stressed all day working, and then we get home and we exhale, and then obviously snack foods cravings hit pretty hard. Baby bell cheese. That's one I'm not familiar with, but cool. And then there's Greek yogurt frozen. Interesting. Okay. And Ninja Creamy, the machine that turns protein shakes into ice cream. You're investing a few $100 into that, but some people swear by it. I don't know if you've looked into that or not, but there's some work involved. All right. Any other questions? Alrighty. Not missing any hands. Okay, we're right at 12:30, give or take a minute or two, so we can leave it at that. You can send the PDF direct through the app chat, Linda, I know you asked, or email it to me, or share it with someone else if it's a spouse that you want to hold you accountable. That works too. Totally your call. Just make sure someone else beyond your two eyes sees it, because there's real value in that. Just for you alone, you're going to be more committed to it. Okay. Have a good rest of your day. Talk soon, guys. Cheers.